And as a trucking manager, do you have your CDL?
I do not. I can't even drive a truck, to be honest. They're automatic trucks, so I could move them around the yard if I had to, but I do not have a CDL.
So tell us how you got into this position.
I started out as an office assistant 30 years ago, in between other jobs I was doing, and it was a part-time position. And so I came on board with the trucking department, and I've just kind of been there ever since. I've had 3 managers above me, and the last 2 I've had to train. So when the position came open, I thought, well, I think I'm just going to put my name in the hat and see how it plays out. So here I am. You know, and when you think of agricultural background, I don't think people really think of the transportation portion of it. And so I just kind of fell into the transportation portion of it, looking for an office position. That was, I liked the office part of it. I liked the scheduling, I liked the payroll portion, I liked all the stuff that went on behind the scenes. So that was my true intent, was to have an office position.
Yeah, and here you are.
And here I am.
Managing an entire fleet
of
trucks.
Yeah.
Tell me how you got here.
Approximately 8 years ago, I moved to East Grand Forks through a friend, and he worked here, and it's been history ever since. Started in the sugar warehouse and moved my way over here.
Do you have a degree in environmental science?
I had started after high school in the farming industry. I started farming for about 8 years before moving over here, and just kind of moved up from there. So,
had you always seen yourself in an agriculture career growing up?
I have always dreamt to have been into agriculture. More in the farming part of it, but it didn't work out that way, and Crystal Sugar was the next best thing. I started here back in 2015 as a forklift operator in the sugar warehouse, and I was there for about 3.5 years, and then I moved into the payloader position for about 2 years, and then I've been out here for the last 3.5, 4 years.
Tell me a little bit about your background. Where are you from? What do you do? How'd you get into your role you're in now?
So I was born here in Park Rapids, Minnesota, and I actually grew up in western Wisconsin, Durand, Wisconsin. I've been around farming my whole life. My dad started in the potato business before I even was born. I had grandparents that milked cows. Where I grew up in western Wisconsin, back then, every mile was a dairy farm. So all my best friends from school, when I worked in high school, I worked on dairy farms. I always enjoyed animals, I always enjoyed crops. With my dad being in the potato profession my whole life, I would help him on the weekends, or I'd pull weeds in the summertime. I've always loved farming, whether it's animals or crops, and so that's what I did all the way up through high school.
So right at the end of high school, what happens? What do you do?
So at the end of high school, I went and started working for RF Farms right away, right out of high school. I started at the bottom. I loaded up potatoes at night, but I had that drive. I wanted to become a manager. So I wanted to learn every aspect of the farm, from the bottom to the top. So I was in it for 2 years, and then I wanted to learn more about irrigation. So there wasn't nothing available here on the Park Rapids farm. So I actually moved to Nebraska and to be able to learn irrigation. So I ran irrigation there a couple of years, worked my way up to run a little small 500-acre farm in Bassett, Nebraska. Had the opportunity to come back to Minnesota, where most of my family lives, and become a team lead, and then eventually got into management, and that's where I am today.